Welcome back to the Fireside PM show. It's been a while since I've streamed, so I hope all the PMs out there are doing well. I know it must be stressful with the changing economy and head count kind of getting a little tighter. Today, I'm not going to do what I normally do, which is interview a PM leader. I'm going to try something different. And by the way, I'm also using a live in real life background. This is actually my home office. Normally, when I do the Fireside PM show, I kind of have a background. I think I use this one, this bad boy. I think this is one of them that I often use. But today I thought I'd do a IRL background. So let me go back and you'll just see my aquariums. Let me know in the comments if you have a preference as to the green screen background, which is much less distracting, perhaps, or if you are down with the aquariums. Either way, today we're going to show and discuss my most viewed Quora answer about product management. And I actually haven't looked at it before this show. I just know it's the most popular one because I get notifications from time to time. And the question is, what makes a great product person? And I answered this in March of 2011. And it's been about 10 years, 11 years, more than 11. And it had 52,900 views, 255 upvotes, 100 shares. So I thought what would be kind of fun is let's take a look at the answer and see if my views about what makes a great product person has changed. Because when I wrote it in 2011, I had been at Microsoft, startup, Google, and then was at a VP of product at a small cap. And now, since writing this in 2011, I've co-founded a couple companies, sold a couple, come back to Google, worked at YouTube, and now am at another part of Google in research looking at health tech. So I've got 10 more years of visibility, and I'm also now a product management and career exec coach. So I've benefited from working with external clients and then also leading teams in my day jobs. So let's take a look together and see where we. Oh, good to see you, Ferdinand. He's saying hello. It's fun to see people live. Well, let's take a look and see how wrong or right I got it, at least based on 2022 Tom, to evaluate 2011 Tom's view on product management. So let's open up the answer. And so, yeah, this is updated 4 years ago. I guess I changed my role. Yeah, this is last profile updated when I was at YouTube. But I actually wrote this in 2011, pre-YouTube. I think at that point I was at Marchex, which is a small publicly traded company, and I was leading product over there. Let's take a look at the answers. What makes a great product person? I say, hey, look, it was originally called What Makes a Great Product Guy. That just goes to show you how times have changed since 2011. People are a little bit more or less aware of how exclusionary certain terms are, like saying a product guy. So what did I answer? I said, below are the qualities I look for and evaluate when interviewing PM candidates. When I take a step back and look at the list, it's interesting to note that formal product management skills are only a small part of it. I think that's still true. That what makes really great product people is more around leadership and communication than it is around requirements and PRDs and roadmaps, although that's obviously kind of table stakes. Okay, let's see. What is the first thing I said? Nice, interesting team player. No jokes, no a-holes, no backstabbers. Wow, that was a pretty kind of opinionated statement there from Tom back in 11. We believe in karma and good things happen to good people who work hard, play well with others, and deliver. Yeah, I think that's still true. I also think the tone of this is a little bit kind of judgmental in a way. It's got a little bit of an a-hole tone to it, saying no jerks, no a-holes, no backstabbers. I think that represents kind of a phase in my life as a leader when I was like still in the black and white world. And I think now I think there's so much more nuance in life that there's always goodness in everyone. Next thing, team player can lead but can also follow. Absolutely. Wants to see the team win. Yep, 100%. Good sense of humor. 100% agree. So I definitely think this I would agree with. We'll go over the rest of the answer and see what I might have missed. But so far, so good. I agree with interesting team player. I would probably say high impact team player nowadays, but good enough. Eye of the Tiger. Interesting. Do they want to win, have something to prove, have the determination to make history, as opposed to just taking on another product job? Do they get fired up when they hear about all that's broken and say to themselves, I want to fix that now? Do they get fired up when they hear about all that's working and say they want to be part of that now? Are interested in doing whatever it takes for the company to thrive and realize helping us reach the goal is the ultimate boost for their career as opposed to promotions, titles, or org charts. Okay. Definitely Tom of 2011 was pretty fired up. Still am. But I think, this does have a little bit of a PM as savior kind of mentality to it. And again, like after years of more experience and leadership kind of examples and lessons learned, I would say, yes, you do want a PM to really be passionate and focused on helping the team succeed. But I also think there is a limit to the PM on a white horse kind of mentality. For sure, it definitely can help for a PM to lead from the front. But this kind of has this vibe of, the PM's going to save the day. And I think nowadays, I would say the PM's going to help the team save the day or save itself or achieve its greatness. But it's definitely more about the team than the individual leader. So yeah, I would kind of rephrase this from Eye of the Tiger to hyper focus on team success. But 2011 Tom was kind of fired up. You know, wants to prove something to the world. Number 3, high intellectual horsepower. Can they understand complex topics in seconds, not minutes? Oh my God, that sounds so obnoxious. Can they zoom in and zoom out multiple times in a single conversation? Can they challenge assumptions and offer new ideas based on creativity, inspiration, and market and customer insights? Well, I totally agree with that one. Do they have an intuition for focusing on things that matter and suppressing the noise? Can they learn new tricks, tech, customers, industries in weeks, not months? Okay. So definitely would agree with this. Uh, you definitely want PMs that can learn fast and can process complex and nuanced information in a timely way, and then apply that to helping the team make hard calls. Um, so I think, again, this has a little bit of a savior mentality, the way it's written, or the way I wrote it in 2011. Um, you know, my sense is that, uh, there's a limit just from a tone point of view to how much you want to be like, oh, I come up with all the great ideas. I'm the first one to answer the question. I'm always leading every meeting. It's important to bring your A game. But I would kind of reframe this one from high intellectual horsepower to, um, ability to learn and solve hard problems and help the team align on a solution that's good for the success of the organization. So again, like 2022 Tom is a little bit more servant leader than 2011 Tom. Great communicator. Can they convey complex ideas concisely and clearly? Do they know how to ask the right questions concisely and clearly and listen? Can they be persuasive managing up and productive when managing across? Okay, yes, I think this is absolutely true. I would also say, um, are they able to actively listen and affirm other team members' perspectives and then incorporate that into the broader consensus and plan? So this one has a very like, oh, you've got this super PM and they're going to tell you exactly what to do. And I think, in 2022, in this phase of my PM kind of journey, my observation is that's great. It has a limit. You're not gonna kind of lead by giving a bunch of speeches. From time to time, you're going to need to do that. But I think the active listening and bringing people along is something that maybe I didn't really capture as much 10 years ago. Bias for action. Get stuff done. Does 2 or 3 times more than average people. Acts like an owner, not an employee. Always pushing themselves to do more. Yeah, this is definitely a hard charging PM vibe to it. And I definitely agree that PMs need to make things happen. I would say, like, ease up on the you're a PM, you're better than everyone else kind of vibe that this has. For sure, act like an owner. Um, Ferdinand is saying communicating concisely. Yeah, it's everybody's challenge. A lot of people struggle with it. And also, when you develop the ability to do it better and better, like you definitely see impact. Like it can compress the time to alignment by, sometimes orders of magnitude if you're a very effective communicator. So bias for action, I totally agree with. The pushing everyone to do more. I think that's a uh, it. Yes, you want to lead by example. You want to bring out the best version of everyone, and you want to do things that help the team do things that it didn't think it could do. But that doesn't mean like you're the the you know you're busting people's chops like 24/7. I think that's probably the biggest change in my leadership style, where you're always trying to find this balance between challenging the team, stretching yourself and the team, but you don't want to come across as you know, a slave driver, right? So, yeah, I think 2011 answer was fine for bias for action. But again, this whole thing just reeks of the savior mentality. Um, can forge alignment that sticks. Okay, totally agree with that title, at least for the in the 2011, Tom. If it's a small startup, a great product person can get the engineers, designers, salespeople, investors, advisors to agree on big decisions. What should our product do? Who's our top customer? Yeah. What should we bet the roadmap on next quarter? Okay. Yeah. Totally agree. Good job, 2011, Tom. If it's a larger company, this is crucial. Great PM is able to synthesize input from other functions like engineering, design, marketing, but also with other product people and overlapping teams that manage up usually a few levels of leadership up to the VP, SVP level. Yeah. So this one, if I do say so myself, I would say 2011 Quora answer, spot on. So that's cool. Top of her game. Track record of success and increasing responsibilities. Yeah. Well respected and liked. Peers will be super bummed when she tells them she's leaving. Yeah, I think that's all true. That you want to be seen as a PM that's taking on more, um, always overcoming bigger and bigger hurdles, but does it in a way that's well respected and liked. In terms of manager and peers will be super bummed. I don't know if I would agree with that one. Certainly, we all love it when we are valued. I actually think a great PM and maybe a great leader is someone who um, can be so effective as a force multiplier for their team and as someone who is setting up a sustainable, repeatable kind of organizational capability that at some point, if you're really great, you'd want it to get to a place where you are not irreplaceable, that you've done a great job setting the whole team and organization up for success in terms of values and processes and, a shared vision and all that good stuff that, you're not like, oh my God, I leave and the whole place falls apart. So I would disagree with 2011 Quora Tom on a little bit on that last bullet. Knows the job. Uh, have they done 2/3 of the job before so they can hit the ground running and perform the basic tasks with zero training, intermediate tasks with some helpful feedback, and advanced tasks with some coaching? Can they bring new tricks, practices, experiences? Do they have the fundamentals to be dropped into any core team and add value immediately? Yeah, I think that's fair. That you'd want a great PM should be someone who can hit the ground running. They can add some new flavor, and they're kind of fungible. That you can deploy them wherever the org needs. So, okay, I think 2011 Quora Tom is starting to get on a nice path. I think maybe the first few answers were a little had too much of a kind of a savior complex to it, but so far I like this part. Design thinkers, can they embrace the philosophy of shipping early and often? Can they embrace the principle of solving customer problems, not just building beautiful software? Can they collaborate, flare, focus, and iterate? Yep, that's absolutely crucial. Still is 10 years later. Um, I think the one caveat is when I wrote this, I think design thinking was like super, super hot, kind of like lean startup was, back in the mid 2015 era or maybe 2009, maybe around then. There's these kind of themes that come and go and rise in prominence. I would say one of the challenges I would give around design thinking is it's so focused on the customer problem and empathy and flaring and focusing and rapid iteration, which I think is crucial. Sometimes it comes at people will not think enough about the overall business plan, business model, and industry dynamics. Some people would say, no, I've seen design thinking applied to business model design, but usually it's more of the, get in a cafe, sketch something, build and iterate kind of vibe to it. So maybe I wouldn't talk about design thinking as much as, the ability to learn and iterate and pivot as needed. So it might be a combo of design thinking and lean startup and just good kind of product development fundamentals. But I'm down with number 9. Number 10 could just as easily be an early employee at a venture funded startup. Thinks like a co-founder, rolls up her sleeves to focus on growing the biz. Happy to do cold calling, data entry, QA, sketch mock, scales, PR, whatever it takes. Great leadership potential, can drive a high stakes project, and others will gladly partner with them. Eat chaos and ambiguity for breakfast and turns it into order and clarity for lunch. Oh my God. I wish it were that easy. Um, so definitely agree with the entrepreneurial PM. I think that's still the case. I love the idea of the PM that can do lots of different things, whatever the team requires. Can drive a high stakes project others will gladly partner with and follow. Yeah, 100% agree with that. The eats chaos and ambiguity for breakfast and turns it into order and clarity for lunch. I mean, it has a nice ring to it. I think it, again, it's a little dangerous because it has this like, I as a PM will solve all your problems. And I think there are limits to that, Mr. Wolf kind of approach. I think what I've seen is the more complex, especially the more capable the team you're working with, like they don't want you to solve the problem for them. They want you to help them figure out the problem and solution together and for the whole team to crack it as a unit. And that's always like an art and a science. So I would say number 10, kind of generally agree, but a little like that kind of Jesus complex is coming back in there. Complements the team. Different enough from the existing product team members to offer a unique perspective, expertise, skill set, which enhances the overall capability set of the entire team. Yeah, that I would agree with. So, in summary, I would say I think this answer is largely right. What did I miss in 2011 about what makes a great product person? Let's see. If we go back and we say interesting team player, eye of the tiger, intellectual horsepower, communicator. I think the thing that we don't have here is leader. And leader means someone that can make the rest of the team bring out the best version of themselves. Um, the other thing about a leader is they can take the collective intelligence of the team and distill it into the shared vision and plan. So it's less of the PM's gonna figure it all out for you. Here's the plan, go build it kind of vibe that this one has right now. What else is I think the rest of it is actually pretty good. If you asked me today to answer the same question, what would I say? And I actually was coaching someone earlier this week, and I told her, hey, they asked me, what do you think makes a great product person? And I said, definitely number one is great communicator. And that's a two-way communication. You've got to be able to convey information. You need to be able to receive and synthesize. Number two, I would say is someone who can build alignment and help the group make complex decisions and evaluate trade-offs. And then maybe number three is ability to do whatever it takes for the team to drive results and measurable impact. So not too different from 2011 answer, but I think it's a little bit more great PMs bring out the best in everybody, and they're this kind of um, like adaptive suspension that goes wherever the org needs it. Uh, and they for sure have amazing vision and crack problems and are smart and all that great stuff. But I think that's probably the biggest change between 2011 and now. Maybe 10 years from now, I'll do another one and tell you my new thinking about what makes a great product person. But hopefully, you found this discussion useful and interesting. I also have another post that got a lot of traction. I think this one was on LinkedIn, which was more on lessons I've learned about careers and leadership and success in general. I'm happy to do a video on that one in the future. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. Also, let me know if you are okay with the IRL background. You can see my beautiful little uh, tropical fish. We've got a community tank here. And over there, there's some fancy goldfish that are out of the shot. Where the heck are they? Or they're in the other corner of that tank. Oh, there's one of them. If you found this useful, do me a solid and like and share because it's a new channel, Fireside PM. I just started it this year and hoping that we can get some more traction. I know a lot of people have said it was useful, so I'll try and keep producing more in the future. And let me know if there's anyone that you want me to interview, if you want to nominate great product leaders that you really think are awesome. Generally, I'm looking for folks who either lead kind of pretty big teams, have been in product for 10, 15 years or more. Usually like VPs of product at decent sized companies, but open to anyone that you think is awesome. And then yeah, feel free to follow me either on LinkedIn or on subscribe to the audio podcast or on YouTube. And then if you from time to time, if you want some one-on-one coaching, career coaching, exec coaching, PM coaching, you can find me at alwaysbeshipping.com. With that, I'm going to say goodbye, PMs. See you next time and keep it real.